This is Friday's screencast, Friday, March 14th. And again, if you have missed a day, then you must go back to my lesson plan page and watch a screencast, do the activity for that day. They are sequential, so you won't be able to follow along unless you've done that, okay? But today's spreadsheet screencast is more of an activity for you. I'm going to put a chart up on the next screen here, and I want you to pause and see if you can create the given chart after I've kind of shown you and described what it is. And then if you struggle with it, give it your honest best effort to do it without any help. And then if you need a little help, then come back to the screencast and I will pull the chart out of the way and reveal how I did the first chart. Okay, so here's the first chart that I'd like you to try to create. And what color scheme you go with is really up to you, where you put your legend, but the titles and stuff should be consistent. The title should say TDs and INTs. And really all you're charting is the quarterback, the name of the quarterback, how many touchdowns they've thrown, and how many interceptions they've thrown. And really it's a nice chart because if you look at the blue compared to the red, the bigger the gap between the two, the better the player. Okay? Because we want touchdowns, we don't want interceptions. And you can see Peyton Manning had a large gap between the two. Okay? Someone like Carson Palmer, it'd be very easy to look at the chart and say, wow, his interception to TD ratio was almost the same. So it's a great chart, great way to analyze numbers. Some of them might surprise you. Look at Nick Foles, the gap he had between touchdown and INT. So anyhow, give this a try. Notice also I have the x-axis label that says quarterback and the y-axis label that says total per 16 games. So pause the screencast, give it a try. If you struggle and you want a tip, then after you pause it, I'll give you the tip. Okay, if you're watching this part, this means you struggle a little bit and you need some direction. So I'm going to pull my chart down out of the way and show you what I did. Okay, all I did is I took the heading, quarterback, all of this stuff, and I copied it and I pasted it down below. Because really, this little block that I'm highlighting right here, that is what makes up your chart. Because I wanted to chart the quarterback, their touchdowns, and their INTs. So again, I just copied that part, and then I went up here and copied these two parts. Okay, and I pasted them down here. So if you don't, you can't make that chart. You can't select all of this stuff and expect Google Spreadsheets to understand what you're trying to chart. Okay, so that's the best way to do this one. At least in my eyes, that is a solution. Okay. Part 2 of your assignment is to create a second chart. And you can chart any data you want. You can create any kind of chart you want. I don't think that I'm trying to think here. I don't think any of the statistics really in this kind of spreadsheet make for a good pie chart. Because you're not talking about parts of the whole. You're comparing, statistics, numbers for each quarterback. And so therefore you might want to stick with a column chart or a stack column or maybe even a bar chart to make it look a little differently. So you pick out any kind of chart that you want, and you must chart at least 3 items like I did. Quarterback, TDs, INTs, okay. You could chart, for example, quarterback, completions and attempts. You could go quarterback and yards per game and pay per game to see if the quarterback who makes although I don't know if I'd mix numbers like that, okay? I wouldn't want to mix numbers up in the millions with numbers in the hundreds because your bars are going to look so funky. So if you're going to mix numbers, I would probably mix the quarterback, their yearly salary, and then their per game salary. At least those numbers would be a little bit closer than, say, the quarterback, touchdowns, and pay per game. Look at those numbers are going to be grossly lopsided. So the bars will look really funny if you can kind of visualize what I'm talking about. Otherwise, that's it. I wanted to go a little bit lighter today on a Friday. So create the chart I gave you here and one other of your choice and decorate it however you want, and just make sure that your second chart has at least 3 columns, three columns in a spreadsheet, 3 different sets of data in the chart. Okay. And I'd encourage you to copy and paste a little bit over further in the spreadsheet like I did in order to accomplish this. So hope you had fun this week. See you guys on Monday.